Assalamualaikum. My name is Nizar Sofia binti Halimi. We are from Group 7. We'll be present about the currency analysis during pandemic. So our group decided to choose Japanese yen for the currency analysis. Okay, first we look at the history of the country Japan. Okay, so Japan is an Asian island nation. It's located in the Northwest Pacific Ocean and is surrounded on the west by the Sea of Japan and the north by the Sea of Okhotsk and on the south by the East China Sea, the Philippine Sea and Taiwan. Japan is country in the Ring of Fire with 6,852 islands covering 377,975 square kilometers. Tokyo is the capital and the largest city, followed by the Yokohama, Osaka, Nagoya, Sapporo, and Fukuoka. Next, we moving to the population. Japan has the population of 100 to 25,000. Japan has a population of 125.4 million people, with 122.8 million of being Japanese citizens. The rest is made up of the tiny number of foreign inhabitants. In 2019, cities account for 92% of the entire Japanese population. Tokyo's population is 13.9 million people in 2022. It is a part of the Greater Tokyo region, the world's largest metropolitan area, which had a population 38,140,000 people in 2016. But unfortunately, since 2019, Japan's population has been falling. The population was 128.56 million in 2019 and is anticipated to be 126.48 million by the end of 2020. By year 2058, the population is predicted to decline below 100 million. Why? The reason for Japanese population reduction is because declining number of births, which is presently at its lowest level since that data collection began in 1899. So next, we're moving the main event that affects Japan. In each year, as we can see, in 1914, it has World War I, and followed by Great Kanto earthquake in 1923, and Pacific War, or we know as World War II, in 1941. Hiroshima and Nagasaki are bombed with atomic bombs in 1945, and in 1956, Japan becomes a member of United Nations, which is at this time the economy predicted to grow. And 1964, the first Olympic Games in Asia are staged in Tokyo. 1995, earthquake of Great Hanshin Awaji, and 2004, earthquake at Niigata Shutsu. 2005, it has the Kyoto Protocol goes to effect, which is Aichi hosts a world exposition with the theme Nature Wisdom. And 2011, earthquake of Great East Japan. And the last one is 2013, Fuji has been named a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Site. Okay, that's all my part. I will pass to next presenter.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. I'm Busakatima Ala binti Azmi. I'm going to present economic overview of the country. So the first is the comparative advantages of the country. First point, cultural tradition of excellence and quality. We see that very essence of the Japanese people is tied to a cultural tradition and history devoted to meticulous hard work, studiousness, precision, innovation, perseverance, and an intense focus on quality. The trajectory of many Japanese companies points to these cultural strengths. Toyota is a perfect, well-known example. Initially dismissed by Detroit as a mere copycat, over time, Toyota has set a global standard for automotive quality. Next slide. Second point is Japan is a global leader in advanced manufacturing. It is very laborious and linear business and requires hard work and perseverance to achieve superior performance, qualities which select Japanese companies abundantly display. Manufacturing excellence and innovation are apparent at many of Japan's leading industrial companies, including Daikin Industry, which recognized as one of the world's 100 most innovative organizations. Its allied intelligence offer new technologies that raise the bar for the HVAC industry. Next slide. And the last point is Japanese technology companies poised for global growth. So Japanese innovation and work ethic are increasingly evident with the emergence of leading-edge software and internet technology. For example, Japanese researchers at the National Institute of Information and Communication Technology just crushed the world record for the fastest internet speed, nearly twice as fast as the previous record. We have observed Japan software and internet development firms pay attention to the most minuscule details in apps, algorithms, and interface, leading to excellence and innovation in functionality and design. Sony, one of Japan's oldest technology giants, has followed a transformative path into the entertainment business, and its reputation has given the next company a valuable global franchise. Next slide. So this slide is main export and import. So first is international trade contributes significantly to the Japanese economy with export equivalent to approximately 60% of GDP. Key export include vehicles, machinery and manufactured goods. Export growth remains sluggish despite a weaker yen due to stimulatory economy initiative. Japan has few natural resources and its agriculture sector remains heavily protected. Japan's main imports include mineral fuels, machinery and food. Next slide. Okay. So the COVID-19 pandemic continues worldwide, but the global economy can afford to remain stagnant. Japan's trade for 2021 was the second highest on record for export and imports. However, soaring resource prices contributed to the country's first trade deficit in 2 years. Export increased 21.5% yearly to 83.1 trillion yen, falling short of the 2007 record 83.9 trillion yen. Exports were robust for steel, up 48.1%, and automobiles up 11.9%, reflecting the recovery of the global economy following a sharp drop due to the pandemic. Then imports increased by 24.3% to 84.6 trillion yen due to rising prices of resources and the weaker yen. By sector, imports grew significantly for crude oil, liquefied natural gas, and non-ferrous metals, while also growing for pharmaceuticals, which increased due to the import of COVID-19 vaccine. Next slide. Japan's export in 2020 tumbled 11.1% from a year earlier, marking the most significant fall in 11 years as the COVID-19 pandemic hurt demand for the country's product, particularly automobiles. After that, export in the recording period stood at 68.41 trillion yen, the lowest level since 73.75 trillion yen logged in 2012. Besides, Japan's key export of automobiles and related parts slumped 20.0 and 90.1% respectively from 2019. Overall imports dropped 13.8% to 67.73 trillion yen, owing to the falling price of crude oil among the energy resources, with the figure marking the lowest since 66.04 trillion yen was booked for 2016. In December 2020, however, export increased for the first time year on year in 25 months, expanding 2.0% from a year earlier to 6.71 trillion yen. For import, were down 11.6%, dropping for a 20th straight month and leading to a good trade surplus, the sixth straight month of surplus law. So that's it. I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Hazila binti Afni and I'm going to explain about Japan trading partner as in 2021. Next slide. Japan, sometimes referred to as the land of the rising sun, is a major and significant economic and political power in Asia. Various countries involved in importing and exporting Japanese goods. This country is the fourth largest exporter in the world behind China, the United States, and Germany, exporting goods worth $756 billion in 2021. Next slide. So these are the three top trading partner in 2021 for Japan, which is number 1 is China, number 2 is the United States, number 3 in Taiwan. Next slide. So for the first one, China. China and Japan have a long way back history since 1972, when a joint communique of the government of Japan and the government of the People's Republic of China created a partnership for neutralizing between these two countries. In terms of economic links between Japan and China are extremely strong and dependent on one another. China's top trading partner is Japan, while Japan's top trading partner is China. The top 3 trading items between these two countries in 2021 is first, machinery, second, nuclear reactor and boiler, third, electrical and electronic equipment. Next slide. For the second one, the United States. In the late 18th century and early 19th century, international relations between Japan and the United States began. The top goods the United States export to Japan in 2021 were machinery, optical and medical instrument, aircraft, electrical machine and agricultural products, while the top imported categories were vehicles, machinery, optical and medical instrument and pharmaceutical. Next slide. For the third trading partner is Taiwan. Relations between Japan and Taiwan have been closer and stronger during the past 15 years as a result of the ending of the Cold War, the growth of Chinese economy and military strength, change in Taiwan culture and politics, and the rise of a new generation of leaders in Japan. Japan and Taiwan have close relations that have been established over many years of practical collaboration, shared principles, and mutual security concern. In 2021, a total of $20.75 billion worth of machinery and electrical equipment were shipped from Japan to Taiwan. Taiwan imported items totaling about $45.9 billion from Japan. Moving on to the next slide. Now I'm going to explain about Japan foreign investment. Next slide. Foreign investment refers to the investment in domestic company and asset of another country by a foreign investor. There are two types of foreign investment, which is first, foreign direct investment, second, foreign indirect investment. As for Japan, this country had foreign direct investment. FDI in Japan started at the beginning of the 1950s but was only implemented on a very relatively small scale until the early 1970s. Until then, the majority of Japan's foreign direct investment went to developing nations and was concentrated in the mining, commercial and labor-intensive manufacturing sector. Next slide. COVID-19 hit the world. Japan lost its rank as the world's largest investor with an FDI outflow value of $116 billion in 2020, which significantly decreased by 49% from $227 billion in 2019. This value placed them in the world's second largest FDI outflow after China. At this time, Japanese investments are focused in Europe and North America in various sectors including finance and insurance, electrical machinery, transportation and equipment production, chemicals and pharmaceuticals. Next slide. Japanese multinational companies are suffering from falling corporate earnings and postponing their investment plan. Lockdown measures, suspended business operation, and closed factories have impacted supply chain and factory production, which has prompted investors to rethink their investment strategy. Nevertheless, Japan remains an attractive market for investors because it has the third largest economy in the world and a steadily growing one with a strong domestic demand. The country is also a leader in high technology, research and development, with the largest number of patents and highly skilled workers dedicated to their company and protected by employee-friendly labor regulations. Next slide. So next one, I'm going to explain about the analysis of Japanese yen performance during COVID-19 pandemic. Next slide. So you can see in the data, the data show, Japanese yen had a downward trend from the end of December 2018 to January 2021. Next slide. The next data show the 2019 value analysis. On January 3, 2019, the value recorded was 1.7.650, decreasing 1.12% from the day before. It means $1 equivalent to 107.650 Japanese yen. After this day, the Japanese yen currency can be seen increasing in March 2019 before it decreased for a while and bounced back. This upward trend does not last long, as somewhere in April, the downward trend starts again. After a few months staying decreasing, the value can be seen begin to increase in the August 2019 till the early month of 2020. Next slide. Moving on to 2020 value analysis. When 2020 arrived, the currency value recorded on January 2nd was 108.600, decreasing 0.05%. The trend can be increasing until February 20, where this value is the highest value recorded during the pandemic, which is 112.003 with the positive 0.72%. The lowest value recorded was on March 9, 2020, with the value of 102.961 Japanese yen, equivalent to $1. Overall, the value trend for 2020 can be seen as a bearish trend rather than the bullish trend. That's all from me. Moving on to the next person.
Oh yes, okay. So hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Az-Zahra and I'm going to talk about the issues of the yen currency during the pandemic COVID-19. Okay, Japan has a slight but severe deflation, while other major economies has had inflation and rising cost of living. Japan's food prices have gone up because of global inflation. A weak yen makes it easier for companies that make money from export to get more yen. Companies could lower price and try to sell more goods abroad. Due to the inflationary pressure, a weak yen is not as good for Japan as it used to be. Only 1.2% of the 2,000 small business owners surveyed think the weak yen is good. Over half of the people who answered the survey said that the cons are important. Some snack companies have cut the weight of a bag potato chips by 3 to 5 grams because they think sales will go down. Analyst says that the BOJ's Bank of Japan should raise interest rates when price of goods goes up. It hurts people's finance. When the COVID-19 restriction on travel and eating out in Japan were lifted at the end of March, people expected their spending to go up. And the last part of the presentation is the conclusion. By writing this report, we can conclude that during the COVID-19 period, a 1 standard deviation depreciation of the yen or 0.588% increased stock market gains by 71% of average returns. When compared to the time before the crisis, we can observe that this link was greater throughout the COVID-19 era, which is in January 2020 to August 2021. To August 2020. I think that's all from our group. Thank you.